The face of HIV today is a young woman of about 16 or 17, black and poor. To the extent that we talk about several hundred infections a day, primarily amongst young women, it's an indictment primarily on us. And I would love to see a new government say, okay, we are going to put a stop to this.
But what would you say then? The government has launched a campaign that specifically addresses young women. What would be your opinion about campaigns like that?
The problem is it can't be delinked at the moment from institutional problems with the AIDS response, and particularly institutional problems that have developed around the National AIDS Council. The people who run the AIDS Council now at civil society are not representative of even the constituencies that they claim to come from. You know, there are new movements of young women in universities and in schools, and the AIDS Council doesn't properly talk to those movements. And so there's very little accountability for those programs. There's very little actual drive or ownership of those programs by the people who are affected.
So today we have new struggles. We have a struggle against large-scale corruption, against alleged state capturing, and you've mentioned that there was a lot of grassroots involvement in the AIDS struggle. What lessons can the new struggles learn from the AIDS struggle?
It's interesting that one of the strongest parts of the new civil society struggles against corruption, against Jacob Zuma's maladministration, actually comes out of the AIDS movement, in particular the Treatment Action Campaign. And I think that's because the Treatment Action Campaign pioneered post-apartheid mobilization. But it was also, how do you use the law? How do you use the constitution? You know, you don't mobilize in abstract. You mobilize people around power, their power. You try to invoke and release their power, and that power is in the constitution. When it came to AIDS, it was in Section 27 of the Constitution. When it comes to corruption and maladministrations, it's in other parts of the Constitution. It's in the courts when government fails.
So you end your book with these two sentences. Can we make social justice the lodestar that will help to revive our humanity? That's the question you have to answer. Can we?
Yeah, we can. What we need, if we're to restore hope, is for the 59% of this country that is under the age of 30 to take power, to see their own power, and to start to take power away from older people whose vision has been corrupted, who have become cynical, and start to say, actually, we want to build a life in this country that will give us better prospects.